Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Welcome to another pick a card reading. This one is all about meeting your ancestors. So you'll be able to meet your ancestors of your reincarnations here on Earth, and you'll also be able to get to know your ancestors that are galactic ancestors. So, and be able to see the gifts that they've given you and also affirmations that they want you to know from them. So yeah, this is overall really beautiful. I had a really amazing time connecting. I want to tell you guys about this meditation that I did before this reading. It's called Guided Ancestor Meditation. I'll definitely link it down below, but it really made me think a lot about how much understanding your past and your ancestors, and not just your distant ancestors, but also just your family in general, gives you a lot of insight into who you truly are and what your soul mission is and your gifts. And it's just something to be explored and respected, and it's really beautiful. And so this meditation really gives you that sense of respect for your ancestors. So I was called to really share that meditation. So I really think you guys will enjoy it. So it's linked down below. Check it out. Let me know what you think. But other than that, let's just go ahead and get straight into the pile selection. So we have more than 3 piles here, the usual, but I definitely just feel called to reach out to a little bit more people. So we have pile 1 starting here with the moonstone. Pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, and pile 5. So as usual, I will give you guys about 30 seconds to meditate with those cards, and then we'll move straight into the reading. I also just want to add a disclaimer here that if there's a message that doesn't resonate with you, it could be that that message wasn't meant for you, or you're not ready to hear it. Could be lots of different cases. So just always keep that in mind. And another thing to keep in mind is use your intuition with these readings. Your intuition will guide you and let you know what is for you and what is not, because it will feel true. Okay. So if the pile's not resonating, maybe go back to the selection and meditate again and really, really focus on the energy of these piles, okay? Because they are very specific. So I want to make sure that you're really focusing with the meditation. So I also want to just thank my higher guides and your higher guides for helping with this reading, but let's just jump straight into that meditation starting now. All right, hopefully that gave you all a moment to meditate with the cards. We're gonna just jump straight into it with group 1. So group 1, let's jump straight to your reading. All right, group 1, welcome to your reading. You chose this beautiful moonstone. So I'm really excited for these readings because it was really amazing to be able to connect with these just such loving ancestors. So the first cards on top with the beautiful owls are they're gonna tell you a little bit more about your ancestor that were here on Earth. So different reincarnations of you, okay, that were here on Earth. So that's what you're gonna be connecting with. So let's just jump straight into that to kind of start us off here. This is kind of the overall energy of just connecting to wise and amazing beings, right? So the first one we have is Druid. Hold this space. Wow. So to me, that makes sense that, one of your past lives you could have been a Druid. So definitely just someone who works a lot with nature. So if that resonates with you, definitely, do more connection into researching Druid and that type of lifestyle and practice, and see if what resonates with you, because it's definitely something in your past life. It doesn't, have to have a specific culture to it or religion or anything like that. It's more about this is something that was part of you. So, and then we have Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted, lots of earth energy, 100%. So to me, this is talking about in your past life, it really seems that your ancestors were a lot of earth healers and a lot of people who utilize the earth for healing and for taking care of people. That's really what I'm getting. And so the Earth Mother, to me, it feels like one of your ancestors was just a healer, someone who really used the earth to, maybe a green witch, used the earth to really heal people because they knew that the earth was part of divine, right? And then we have great teacher, learn from spiritual experience. Okay, so I think your ancestors have really gained a lot of knowledge, especially with Druid. This is, a very spiritual practice. Your ancestors have really learned in past reincarnations how to connect and utilize the earth to its fullest. So that's a little bit of background onto them. So nothing else is really coming through besides that. That's what I'm really getting. Lots of earth energy, lots of beautiful healing energy. So I'm really excited to see if healing is going to come up more through this, if that's already hitting in your intuition. But lots of just healing and earth energy, wanting to help people, connecting with the earth. So I have a feeling that, you like meditation and you like being grounded and you like being in nature. It really heals you is what I am getting. So now let's connect with your galactic ancestors and kind of learn a little bit more about them. So lifting the veil. So your galactic ancestors definitely have been part of kind of realignment. It seems like maybe in past reincarnations, that part of your DNA, that part of your lineage was always part of lifting the veil. So that could be something that you're also meant to keep doing. This is kind of your part of your soul mission is what I'm getting. It's part of your soul mission to continue lifting the veil. So it seems like your ancestors have also done this, but it's also part of your mission as well. And maybe your your ancestors it really seems like it matches your ancestors' kind of goal in general is to really help people and bring alignment and grounding to things, right? Let's see what else we got. Big picture thinking, so visionary. Yeah, it seems like definitely from your galactic ancestors, they were definitely leaders, people who really had a vision and wanted to use technology and everything to the advantage of expanding consciousness, right? So if that's something that speaks to you in that sense, it's what I'm really feeling is that your ancestors, you have so much grounding and peace within you because of these ancestors, but you also have so much connection to really like the future world, right? If you want to put it that way, in the sense of you're really into technology and that stuff really calls to you. And so it's really both of these are really great strengths to have to support both sides, right? It seems like you have a really good practicality, like relationship between both sides of your ancestors, which just gives you more balance in your life. And then we have portal doors opening, you decide, rewards, wild card. Yeah, it definitely seems because you are just peaceful in general, your ancestors just always took on the unknown. That's what I'm definitely getting. And because you can see all three of these cards look like portals. And so to me, your galactic ancestors were really leaders and really wanted to get things to move forward. They were always walking towards something bigger. So I bet you're a really ambitious person and really seek to figure out things. And if you don't believe that you're a leader, these ancestors will definitely tell you, like, learn from your past experiences, your past spiritual experiences, that you are a leader, right? I'm sorry, righting past wrongs. So it could be that you do have some karma though from your cosmic ancestors. It seems lots of karma that's going on. Nothing specific is coming up, so you might want to do some more research into, you know, karma and ancestors, and start meditating more with your ancestors and start identifying more that what that is and how you can heal it. I bet the best way to get insight into this is to be grounded and be in nature, because that is really how you connect to healing. That's definitely what I'm getting. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of insight into your galactic ancestors. Overall, you have some beautiful ancestors. They definitely very ambitious, very grounded, very just peaceful and humble. I am definitely getting that. So I bet you have a lot of that type of energy. Definitely seems like you're a bright, very light person. So let's see the gifts that your ancestors have given you throughout your life, because they're always here with you, right? So you have friendship. Yeah, so maybe you have a lot of great friendships in your life. And if you haven't met a lot of friends yet, you definitely will. It's just part of what's meant for you. Because I also get the feeling that because your ancestors were such people that wanted to, you know, be the leader and wanted to help people raise consciousness and wanted to heal people and were very peaceful and grounded and humble, that they had a lot of friendships, because they felt friendships and love is the most important, powerful thing in the world. So if you don't already have a lot of friendships, you're definitely meant to, okay? And then we have true love come to me. Yeah, so your ancestors, I think, have definitely had some strong love in their, you know, in your lineage. You've definitely had some true soulmates. Because I especially get that with this card, even though that's not the context, that's the feeling that I'm getting of this kind of duality, right? And maybe let me read this card actually again. And honestly, now that I'm saying that, there might be karma with past relationships as well. That could be something that I just got, that for some of you, some of the karma that you may need to kind of unravel from your kind of line is relationships. So, you know, maybe you date the same type of people and it's the same karmatic cycle that your ancestors have fallen into. So it's definitely something to be aware of, especially because your ancestors are such amazing light people. That means that you are too. You attract all types of energy and all types of people. So reflect on that and see if that feels true. But that's something that's coming through to me with this card, is you're definitely destined for a soulmate, but you have to break some karmic cycles with maybe some relationships. So take that as it resonates. And then we have imagination. Yeah, so I can definitely see that with these cards, right? Because especially with these ones, that's what I'm getting, because of the portals and the unknown. The unknown is always scary. So having a strong imagination where you can dream of these beautiful things, right? Like is hard if you don't have a vision and you're not able to paint a picture of what you want. But if you're looking at the portal and you see these gorgeous pastel pink skies and these sparkles and just it looks and just feels magical, then of course you're gonna chase it. So if I could definitely get a feeling that you're a creative person, and people really sometimes confuse creativity with artistic ability, which is not the same. Being artistic is a form of creativity, but every human is creative, because that's what we're here to do, is create. So creativity can come in all forms, and I just feel like I have to say that because maybe you're like, but I'm not an artist. And some of you may be, with especially this Earth Mother, but with some of you, creativity just comes in a lot of forms. Cooking, baking, anything that you are creating is creativity, okay? And so creativity and imagination really go hand in hand, because imagination is also just dreaming. It's being able to visualize something, right? And what happens is you basically have the perfect formula for manifestation. And so that's definitely what I'm getting as a gift that you have, is a beautiful imagination. And you may, if for some of you who are more artistic, this probably comes a little bit more naturally, so you may already resonate. But for some of you who are not artistic, but you're creative, this imagination is available to you. So definitely start exploring that through your creative medium, whatever that is, okay? This is pretty. And then the last messages we have is some affirmations from your ancestors. So we have limitless. So yeah, they want you to know that you have limitless opportunities available to you, which definitely makes sense because your ancestors have definitely worked really hard. I don't really want to cover those up because I really, really love these cards. With those portals, all three of those, to me, that's, so I'm gonna kind of spread them out over here. But we have limitless. So yeah, amazing opportunities because your ancestors have already paved the way of leadership for you. Leadership is really built in to your DNA, into your being. So if you already are not in a leadership position, you should really consider it because it's something that is in your blood naturally, and whatever you want to create, people will follow because you have this amazing ability to make things come to fruition. And that's what your ancestors have really done, which is amazing. I mean, they're just, it's beautiful for sure. Relationships, I'm surrounded by relationships. Yeah, see, it's the same as friendships. You definitely have a lot of love and support in your life, and your ancestors have made sure that it is so. Desire, I live a life of desire. They definitely want you to know that the things that you're dreaming about can come to fruition. So start allowing that to come to you. Imagine, dream about what you desire, because your ancestors are here to give you so much abundance, especially this Earth Mother. Like, this is a beautiful card because this really is about abundance and nurturing. And so you have so much. So many of your ancestors are watching you. They're protecting you. They're guiding you. And so they want you to know that you can make all of your dreams come true. That's what I'm getting. I attract abundance. Yeah, exactly what I just said with the Earth Mother. You have a lot of abundance available to you that they've made sure is in place for you because they want you to be the leader that you are. So, you know, start taking this as it resonates, but definitely I would say a call to action is to start meditating and spending time with your ancestors. So, you know, with that meditation link below, check it out, see if it resonates, and if it doesn't call to you, that's okay. Find another meditation that does for you to connect to your ancestors. But really do it, I think, where you can feel grounded, because that's how you'll be able to connect with all of them, because I'm sure there's even more than this, but these are the ones that definitely are the strongest in your line. But there's so much to this because you can even break down into, okay, so here's your galactic, you know, ancestors, but what lineages do you come from? There's so much to explore with your ancestors. So now that you have a general idea of who your ancestors are, I think it would be really beautiful to take some time to spend time getting to know parts of you, because it might help you understand yourself better. It might help you understand your desires better and your imagination and maybe your karmatic cycles. So that's definitely the call to action that I wanted to let you know of. But I hope this resonated with you. It seems like it's really beautiful. I really, really enjoyed this. So please leave a comment and a like below and let me know the situation with this, and let me know if you knew some of this already and if you know anything about your ancestors. Would love to hear what you already know. But I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to group number 2. All right, group 2, welcome to your reading. I'm really excited to get into this. This has been a really fun reading so far with group 1, and just in general, this is just so beautiful to be able to connect with these ancestors. Just nothing but positivity, which is just so needed. So the first cards that we have on top are the ancestors that have reincarnated on Earth. So these are all the different reincarnations that have occurred on Earth. So these, and then we also will be connecting with your galactic ancestors, so you can kind of get to know that side as well. So let's start with your kind of Earth reincarnations and learn a little bit more about those ancestors, okay? So the first one we had is the Fire Guardian. So this one I think is kind of talking, so I do remember with this one, you only had 2 cards relating to your reincarnations with Earth. So but you had way more cards for your galactic ancestors. So you may not have reincarnated on Earth that many times. Maybe this is your first time and you've never reincarnated on Earth. Because this one isn't a specific ancestor. This is kind of more just about maybe the energy that some of your ancestors have given you in this reincarnation. That's kind of more what I'm getting. We have elder move past beyond ancestral patterns. Okay, well, actually what I'm getting is you definitely had some, I'm kind of feeling like shaman. That's not what this is, but that's not what this card says, but I'm just kind of getting that vibe. So maybe you had 1 reincarnation, but it's not that many. So, which is not a bad thing or anything like that. It's just your soul's path. It's just what you decided, you know, it's just what has happened. But it definitely seems like you've had 1 reincarnation that was definitely an incarnation that you were really wise. And so your ancestors were really wise in that reincarnation. So that's why I said something about shaman, something about being able to connect to spirituality is definitely something that has happened in your past life. So the Fire Guardian, I'm not sure on this one yet. Let's see if any of the other cards are connecting, because all I can really feel is that maybe they've given you a gift of ambition. Otherwise than that, I'm not sure how this resonates quite yet, but let's figure it out. But I definitely think you have a strong connection with your galactic ancestors, okay? So we have, it's not yet time, wait, things are being woven. So what this tells me is that your galactic ancestors were very patient. It seems like maybe you are a very patient person, which could make sense with this Elder card. Okay, well, actually what's feeling true with this Fire Guardian card now is you're definitely an ambitious person. I also feel like you're passionate, but you're also patient. I'm really getting that, like you're patient. And so that's kind of what this is saying, is you have patience from both parts of your ancestors. And so that's pretty amazing. So that's what I'm getting with that. We have, the next one is the 7 Star Sisters. Yeah, like well, that's a really cool card too. I mean, and look, space, like definitely some galactic ancestors for sure. And I'm not as familiar with the different lineages, but you definitely should research, because that's 2 like really starry backgrounds. Anyways, but what this is telling me is, again, you're just a passionate person. You'll be able to create and manifest things very easily. And so this is something your past ancestors have just done really well, is they're patient and they're able to wait for things to come to fruition, right? Birthing creations, really creative, very ambitious. That's what I'm getting. The next one we have is Earthed, learning how to be human in a world but not part of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put down both of these cards because these are beautiful. Do you see those 2 different, like, distinct differences? So these are definitely 2 separate cosmic lineages that you have. And I definitely got the feeling that this was more spiritual when I was doing this reading, because just not that many kind of Earth reincarnation cards or Earth ancestors were coming through, but this felt strong. And now that I'm seeing it, I'm like so excited, because now it makes sense, because that's 2 very distinctive, different ones. And again, I don't know which ones they are. I could definitely say this one could be Atlantis or Lemuria. So, cause they're definitely water, and it's that essence, it's that energy of Lemuria. And Atlantis. So, especially with the Lost Lands. So I would definitely, if Atlantis or Lemuria speaks to you, start researching that. If none of those speak to you, just start looking for water-based planets or environments, that type of thing, because that's where it's definitely coming from, is water. So, I just got excited. So the Earth, what I'm getting with this is this could be something that you struggle with, or the karma that maybe you know, this part of your ancestry line has dealt with, because you can tell she kind of feels stuck in the sky, and the beautiful water is below her, and you can tell the sky looks a little muddy, and so she just feels kind of trapped a little bit because she doesn't know how to be part of so much land, so much earth. And so if you ever have felt kind of out of place, that's coming from this line for sure, because especially with lost lands, if it is Atlantis or like Lemuria, places that have been, especially Atlantis, that has been submerged, you know, that's that feeling of being lost or feeling like you don't really know how to survive on Earth. So I think, you know, this is what's beautiful about this though, is that's taking this wisdom of being grounded and really and wise and patient, and taking both of these wisdoms and making sure that you stay grounded, okay? And you earth yourself, as they say, but that's what I'm really getting. But that's really beautiful to have. Those are really two distinct different lines, like for sure. So definitely research if Atlantis or Lemuria doesn't call to you, but if it does, research that. And that already I know, because this is one of my lineage, this is one of my lines, my galactic lines, and it's just really, this is the energy for sure. This one really seems beautiful though, and really almost ancient. This one feels ancient. So this one seems, which would make sense, because it seems like you're a really passionate and wise person is what I'm getting. So yeah, wow. That gives you some insight into some of your different lines, which is pretty amazing. So now let's see some of the gifts that they've passed on to you. So we have dream sweet, sleep deep. So what that means is you can connect with your ancestors through dreams, or you in general see, you know, intense dreams. Maybe your intuition tells you things through your dream, however that resonates. But definitely you have the ability to gain insight through your dreams is definitely what I'm hearing. Peace. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely seem like you're a peaceful person. And I'm definitely getting that, because you know, with the elder and with this type of energy, it definitely is peaceful. And so, you know, if you seem like you're generally a peaceful person, and if you don't find that you are, you definitely want to spend some time meditating. But for the majority of you, I can already feel that you already spend a lot of time meditating. You tend to be pretty down to earth. Maybe some of you struggle, and that's okay. That's where this is really coming in strong, because maybe for some of you this doesn't resonate at all, and that wasn't meant for you. So sometimes these sub messages can get tricky when you're doing collective readings. So you're just gonna have to trust your intuition. If it gets jumbled, trust your intuition, because your intuition is correct, okay? And then the last one we have is good cheer. Yeah, you seem like you're just an overall really happy person. And I think that can definitely come from this line and this one as well, because they're like dancing, you know? In general, I just think you have a lot of fire kind of energy to you. You're a really social person, I feel like. I heard Leo, I don't know. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of insight. And then lastly, I have some affirmations from your ancestors. So purpose. I wake up each morning serving my life's purpose. So if you're already in something that makes you happy, that's just confirmation that you're doing the right thing. But whatever you're called to do is gonna be what your purpose is, because your ancestors have already made sure that they have served, that they've understood their purpose. So if you don't understand yours, it's definitely will help to spend some time with your ancestors and understand a little bit more about your past and connect a little bit more with your soul mission, right? That doesn't mean that they coincide, but they could give you a little bit of insight into, you know, what some of their purposes were, right? Silver lining. I see the silver lining in all situations. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, patience. And so with patience comes, it's easier to understand and easier to see multiple sides. So that's what I'm definitely getting with that is you just are positive. Try to see the silver lining. We have flexibility. You live each day being flexible. Yeah, absolutely. Again, being able to pivot because you're a pretty patient person. So when shit hits the fan, it doesn't feel so destructive because you're able to pivot and be flexible and be like, oh, it's fine, let's do this. And so I think this is really pretty. This is amazing. So you definitely seem wise. Yeah, this is really a beautiful energy. So I think it's just some call to actions is to definitely investigate these two different lines and see what speaks to you, and come back and comment because I would love to hear and see, you know, what these two different lines mean to you, or if some of you resonate with just this one and just this one. I really am curious. So let me know. I'm excited. But that's all I would say the call to action is. It seems like a lot of things are already really good in your life and you have a lot of foundations, and it seems like your ancestors have really aided in that, which is really beautiful. So I definitely want to thank my guides and your ancestors, and thank your ancestors for providing you with so many beautiful mindsets and habits. But that's your reading. So please leave a like and let me know if it resonated, and comment on this when you figure it out. And I will see you guys in the next video, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on to group number 3. All right, group 3, welcome to your reading. I'm really excited. You definitely had a lot of earth energy that I was feeling. So with this crystal, I was really, when I picked this, I was like, yeah, like there's definitely earth energy with this. So I'm excited to see this. So the first cards are the ancestors that have reincarnated, like your past lives through reincarnations on earth. So this will give you insight into your ancestors on earth, and you definitely had a lot, and that's why I'm feeling the earth energy in the sense of just grounding and kind of abundance and just the feeling of being connected to the earth. I have a lot of earth ancestors myself, and so I think you understand what I mean when I say earth energy. So let's just jump straight into that. And then the next cards I have is also your galactic ancestors. So we'll be able to see both sides. But I'm excited. So we have Air Guardian. Wow. So maybe you definitely had, I'm kind of feeling nomad. I don't know why, that just kind of came through with that. Maybe just someone who was a traveler. I'm just kind of feeling like somebody who really just connected to kind of learning and growing. And I kind of just say that in case you're confused, like how is she seeing that? Because she has like wings, and also just air, just I think of just going and flowing, right? And so it's not stagnant, it's about going. And so to me, you know, that someone in your ancestry was a traveler, someone who liked to learn and really, again, shift their perception. They like to gain other perspectives, because it's a traveler of not just exploration, but learning. That's what I'm getting. So nothing specific about what they were, but I'm just kind of feeling that's what was coming through. We have Magic Guardian. Wow. Okay. So I definitely think you had a shaman or some type of person who definitely uses maybe like an earth witch, someone who uses the earths for more magical properties, right? And so if magic, or like green witch as they call it, has like paganism is ever really drawn you in, then this is kind of telling you that you have a lot of guardians too, which tells me that these are very spiritual people. And so that's why I say I think it's definitely someone who is a shaman, someone who is very connected to the spiritual side. So I think you're definitely probably a spiritual person, because I'm feeling that. Knight, be brave and honest. Wow. So you definitely have someone, like one of your past lives was definitely someone who is very courageous. Doesn't mean that has to be a knight, but it definitely could be, because that is a very strong message. But you don't have to be. You could have just been somebody who's just very brave, which these guardians definitely could have been if they lived in a time where, you know, paganism was really looked at as a negative thing, or, you know, anyone who practiced magical rituals or practices was negative, right? And so that could be the case, whatever resonates. And then we have Lord, take authority. Yeah. So you're definitely a leader, I feel like. You could have been a ruler in a past life. So you have to take that as it resonates. You actually have a lot of different lines here, which makes sense when I said this really felt like earth energy. You have a lot of different ancestors, and this could not even be all of them, and that's why this feels so strong, is you could have more that come from different time periods, because there definitely seems like there's some different time periods here to me, and different parts of the world, and all kinds of stuff like that. So that seems amazing. So I would even try to do, you know, research as much as you can into both of your families, and kind of see where you can pull some with some of the historical data, what's available through the historical things, if there's even any, or if not, then spiritual work will definitely connect you with this part of your ancestors, whatever this is. And because the spirit, connecting spirituality to them, you'll be able to understand more of this. So I would definitely take time to meditate and you know, call upon like these type of guardians. You know, you have a lot of guardians, that a lot of reincarnations, a lot of past lives. So it's definitely worth the research of, okay, so what reincarnated on Earth already? You know, what are the lessons I learned? What's my purpose? Because to me, there's a lot of different reincarnations, a lot of different ways that you've had to help people. And that's what I'm getting, is you've had a lot of reincarnations on Earth because you've had to help people, and it's not because you've done anything bad or anything like that. And it's beautiful that you're reincarnated, because you've reincarnated literally so many times to help people, just in different forms that was needed for the time. Okay, so you know, you reincarnated, maybe you were a knight, maybe you were a king, or you know, like a lord or that type of thing, like a ruler, and then maybe you're more of a shaman, and then you were a traveler. However that resonates for you, but that's what I'm really getting, which is really, really cool. So I would love to hear more about, you know, how this is resonating and what you guys are thinking so far, because that to me is so badass. Like, there's so many cool things that you can connect to and like learn about what they've done here on Earth to make a big difference, clearly, because there had to be more than one reincarnation to bring what you bring to the planet. So that's woo. All right, so now let's look at your cosmic ancestors and see if maybe some of it maybe explains your soul mission, and maybe why you've reincarnated so many times. So we have jump in. Wow, adventure, say yes to change. Yeah, so to me, that's your cosmic ancestors have definitely been the ones to be leaders, and that's what I'm getting. And all of these these ancestors are leaders, right? And maybe, you know, some people wouldn't consider, they're like, well, of course a lord is a leader, but how would, you know, like a shaman be a leader, for example? But they're leading and guiding people and helping people, and that's what a leader is as well. It's not necessarily ruling over people, right? Or managing people, and that's not a bad thing by any means if that calls to you as well, but there's tons of different ways to be a leader. And so you definitely have just been a leader in both lines. And so if you're not in some type of leadership role, it's definitely part of your soul mission to be some type of leader. And it sounds like you have a lot of different ways to be a leader, so there might not be a specific way that you have to do it. It's just being a leader, because whatever you're good at or whatever you're interested in right now, you're destined to be a leader in it, because that's just obviously what your pattern is, and you're meant to be a leader in this thing that you love to do. So consider that. And then we have Star Keeper, Cosmic Ancestor, see the light by staying grounded. Wow. So to me, you have a really strong cosmic, you know, lines as well, which I didn't see at first, but now that I see that card, I really feel it. So you're gonna have to kind of do your own research, is what I'm getting with that one, is to really spend some time meditating and being grounded and connecting with your higher self. So your higher self can help you connect with this part of your ancestors, because they might be able to really guide you a little bit more on your soul mission and what you can do in this reincarnation, right? Which is kind of crazy, which is, wow. That's just really cool, that how that happen. I mean, and look at that, forge, don't follow. Exactly, you're always meant to pave a path in every single one of these. And you're an amazing person who's a natural free spirit. That's what I'm getting. Like, because look at the wings here. Like, definitely a free spirit, definitely a natural leader. And so don't forge, you have to forge the path. Okay, you're not a follower, just accept it. You're a leader in literally every DNA part of your being, okay? You are so meant to be a leader, so figure out what that is, and perspective. So, in other words, all of your ancestors have always been leaders. And then perspective to me, I think this is more about zooming out, because I think what I'm getting with this is you've always been drawn to figuring out what your purpose is and what you're supposed to do with your life. And because you've always felt this ambition inside of you, because you've done so many great things in your, like, you know, within your line, and your ancestors have done so many great things that it literally fills your soul with this ambition that we gotta do things, because you've done this shit before, right? And so you have this ambition of, what do I do? And you might be feeling that way when I'm like, I mean, connect with your cosmic. They'll help you understand your soul purpose. It's like, well, but what? And it really seems like they've learned their soul purpose by getting perspective, by zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, maybe looking at the common need for people, because it definitely seems like you help people. So what's a common, you know, thing that people need help with, that you're like, I know how to help people, I know how to lead this, you know? Really, it's something that you're good at. It's something that comes naturally to you because you're a free spirit. So it comes naturally to who you are. And then and it's easy for you to express it, okay? So that's what I'm getting with that. And then let's get into some of the gifts that comes from your ancestors, which you had a few. We have letting go, all wisdom remain. So you might be really good at letting go. And if you haven't discovered that already, then discover it, because that's a beautiful gift to be able to let go, because I can attest, and I'm sure a lot of people can, and I'm sure you can in your life as well, that letting go is one of the hardest things to do. And so you have this natural ability to understand that the situation, thank you, it served me, but it's time to move on, just comes naturally to you, probably because you're so ambitious and you know what it takes to be a leader. And sometimes being a leader is learning how to let things go, right? So if this lies inside of you if you don't already know. And then justice. Wow. Okay. So to me, this is for some of you, take it as it resonates. But to me, for some of you, your soul mission in this reincarnation, in this point in your life, is to serve in something to do with justice. So that could be a lawyer, that could be in government, that could be, that's just some of the things that came forward. But really, it doesn't even have to be in like politics type of realm. It's just somewhere where you help promote and help people with justice. So I am getting that. So I don't think that's not for all of you, but that's for some of you. So take it as it resonates. But that's definitely what I'm getting is you, and maybe even with the knight, you know, that was maybe their past soul mission as well, was justice. So that could feel relevant somehow. Just trying to see if there's anything else that feels relevant. Yeah, to me, that's kind of what it feels like. And then we have divine guidance. Yeah. I mean, that's not a surprise because you have so much guidance here, like on Earth, with all of these different, you know, reincarnations that you've had. They can really help you because they know this planet, right? Like they understand humans better. And your galactic line here will be able to also guide you, especially this card. There's something to do with this, and it's not telling me, probably because it's something that you need to discover for yourself, is what I'm getting. Is this star keeper. There's something really powerful in your cosmic line, and so there's a lot of guidance that's available to you. And I like how it says whispers, because that's literally just what it is with this. Like, there's this portal within your cosmic line that only you can access. That's what I'm getting. So meditate. You know, this is the Starseed Oracle. So if Starseed really resonates with you, start there and start with Starseed lines. Just look up, you know, cosmic lines and start figuring out what resonates with you, because once you figure that out, you can start meditating and researching into your line, and then your ancestors will be able to give you more guidance. There's something that they definitely want to give you. So take that as it resonates. I'm not supposed to guide you on it. But I'd love to, but I can't. And then we have energy, a light inside my fire divine. So to me, I think you're just an ambitious person, and that's really what I'm getting, especially with just all the energy in general here. I think that you want to do something and you're like, I don't know what to do next. What do I do next? Because you feel this ambitious energy to always be doing something, because of it's built into your DNA, literally, right? So, but like, this is exciting, okay? That's definitely a call to action. So now the next cards are affirmations from your ancestors. So the first one we have is gratitude. So if you don't already practice gratitude, they definitely want you to know that to practice your gratitude, because you have abundance in your life, especially with all these different reincarnations. I mean, look at them, right? They're all very well off in the sense that they have jewels, they have beautiful, you know, like they have beautiful jewelry, they have beautiful like clothing, like very definitely well taken care of free spirits, but very humble. They're not greedy by any means. You know, especially with this king, you can tell that. I like the way that I think about it with like the kind of antler crown is he's more connected to nature, right? So he's more of a king who's more grounded in understanding more of a spirituality. So he's more connected to really leading people, and it's not corruption. No corruption with the type of things that he was ruling is kind of what I'm getting with that. Sorry, side note there. But yeah, just gratitude, practice gratitude, because gratitude will definitely bring you lots of opportunities and lots of abundance, because you're destined to have abundance if you don't already. So yeah, that was a little bit of a side note. And then, oh shit, I allow abundance into my life. Yeah, exactly. Like they just want you to allow yourself to receive the abundance, and gratitude is one of the formulas for abundance, right? Is you be grateful for what you already possess, because having a gratitude mindset creates that reality of, I'm grateful for what I have. I want this because this is what I want to do with my life, right? Like I want to help people. I want to do this. I want to do this. And if it's always in the idea of love and always in the idea of just really that love and purity, then it will manifest. And so that's the thing, is they want you to allow yourself to accept abundance, because it's part of what you need to do your soul mission. Okay. If you don't already have it. Balance. I have countless opportunities each day to create balance. Yeah, I think balance is definitely important, because to me, what the balance means for most of you is ambition and play. And I say that because you're definitely a free spirit. I adore this card, and I feel like this really is a lot of the energy of how I feel about your ancestors in general. They're just free spirits, like very free spirits. Do what they want. You know, not in a reckless way, in a very, they care about people way, but they also care about themselves, you know, and that's really what I'm getting. And so that's what I'm hearing with balance, is it's important to balance your ambitions and your caring and wanting to help people with your own self-love, because taking care of yourself is equally important. And that's what I'm getting. And that's a lesson that they've all probably had to learn each time, because these are each new ways to serve people. And so they then had to learn, how can I really take care of myself while I'm taking care of these other people as well, right? So find that balance. And then embrace the power and love of the universe. Exactly. You have so many powerful ancestors that look over you. Are you kidding me? So much guidance. Like, your path is really clear because you have so much guidance, but there's even more to like unfold, right? And so you need to embrace your ancestors because they want to help you. I mean, divine guidance, yeah. They want to guide you. They want to help you, right? Trust that they're here to help you, and you'll get a lot of insight into your soul mission. So this is really exciting. So overall, I think call to actions, obvious, this one, really meditate with this, figure out what your cosmic lines are, and come back and comment if you feel called to do so, and let me know. I'm excited. And then, you know, some really beautiful reincarnations that you've had. So maybe you can connect with them and learn some more guidance of how they kind of did things, right? And some of the lessons that they learned. Maybe do some meditation around that. Definitely all seems like they were very grounded, even though they were free spirits, very grounded, okay? Except maybe this one, a little more carefree, but that's okay. Definitely still grounded. So yeah, overall, that's your reading for your ancestors, which is really beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Leave a like and comment below and let me know the situation of how this resonated with you. And I hope to see you guys in the next video, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to group number 4. All right, group number 4, welcome to your reading. I'm really excited to get into this. So just want to give you a little bit of insight into the cards that I have for you. So these first cards that have the owl and kind of the little time clock are the ancestors that have been past lives that have reincarnated on Earth. So these are kind of your Earth energy. And then these ones is your galactic lines, your galactic ancestors. So we're gonna start with the kind of past lives that have reincarnated on Earth and get to know those ancestors, okay? And you got quite a few. So, yeah, High Priestess, Harness, Mystic Power, definitely Egypt. I felt that because there's another card in here that fell out and I saw it, and it was something to do with Egypt, something about Egypt. So definitely a past life has been Egyptian, and you could have been somebody who is a mystic in Egypt is maybe what I'm getting, because that's pretty specific. And then we have a sage. So yeah, it's definitely like a mystic or someone who is spiritual in ancient Egypt, which ancient Egypt was spiritual as it is, but you were someone who was like maybe some type of higher up who is part of, you know, the ceremonies or a shaman or something like that, right? So definitely amazing. And then we have sage, so definitely past life sage, someone who's just devoted to a practice, right? So you could have been maybe like a monk or something like that in a past life, or that could be just resulting the overall kind of energy of this, of your like past lives. We have stag, trust and thrive. Okay, wow. So I think this just kind of tells me that a lot of your reincarnations, you really thrived in them, which makes sense so far with having, you know, a type of sage life where you're just at peace, having the ability to, you know, have a very spiritual life where you're high up, where you have access to a higher lifestyle. We have water guardian, connect with your emotions. So you're definitely someone who connects, I think, to your emotions. And if you don't, you definitely should, because you could be an empath, or you could just have the ability to understand people's emotions more. That's kind of what I'm getting with this. This could also be Atlantis for some of you that feels true for. And then stag, trust and thrive. And then, because we also have winter, take care of your needs. Wow. So to me, so what I'm getting with these is maybe these are cards that kind of tell you how you can heal. That's what I'm kind of getting, especially with the Water Guardian, that kind of tells me healing. So these are ways that I think you can heal is gratitude is kind of what I'm getting with the Stag. Really trusting yourself, your intuition, and you'll really thrive is kind of what I'm getting. Also, you might want to look more into, you know, the deer spirit animal or totem. Maybe that speaks to you in some way. And then you have Winter, especially this card, especially for right now, because maybe if it's not winter where you live in the world, it doesn't matter. It's more about the energy of winter. It just happens to take place right now, right? And so take care of your needs. This is a time to hibernate, and that's definitely what your ancestors have done to heal in the past. It sounds like they've had to kind of learn that is winter. So you could have had some, you know, native ancestors as well, is kind of what I'm getting. But I don't see anything that specific about that. That could be the sage, honestly. That could be someone who was native. Doesn't necessarily have to be a monk. Could be someone who was native, who is just committed to a spiritual practice. But take it as it resonates, but that's kind of what I'm getting. Like, this is definitely a way for you to heal. And so right now it seems like it's a really crucial time. So they want you to know that. And then, so, I mean, overall, that's what I'm getting. So it seems like you definitely have a lot of spiritual energy, which now I'm excited to dive more into your galactic lines and ancestors to kind of see a little bit more of the spiritual piece of it. But overall, definitely Egypt, which is badass. Let's take a look at your galactic lines. So we have Earth pulsing. Okay, so to me, this talks about being grounded. Your cosmic ancestors are definitely peaceful, and one of them anyways, one of your lines is definitely a line of very peaceful and grounded individuals, really. And so they want you to know this is also a way to heal yourself, is what I'm getting with this, is grounding. And because this is what they do, is they connect with the earth. And that could make sense with the sage and the stag, and maybe even the high priestess, honestly, right? Like, so definitely connecting with the earth. You have a strong connection to the earth is what I'm getting. So if you meditate in earth, you might really be able to feel kind of the earth's energy. So that could be something that you can use in maybe your soul mission, possibly. Let's see what else we can get. The cosmic heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. You're definitely, okay, so here's what I'm getting. I think you're meant to be in, your soul mission, I think, has something to do with being a empowering leader within a community. That's what I'm getting. Like, with the high priestess, it's about empowering a community, and that's what I'm getting with the cosmic heart. Empowering a community through a spiritual avenue. So whatever that is for you, that could be yoga, that could be chanting, like meditation, like witch, you know, powerful witches, you know, in general, like readers that get together, just spiritual people in general. Like, honestly, whatever that is for you, you're meant to really conversate with these people and be a type of person who encourages and makes them want to dance as well. Does that make sense? So you're definitely meant to be a leader of, you know, other women is definitely what I'm getting. Part of a group that encourages other women to be their own goddess. So think about that with spirituality as something, you know, as a way you can really connect to your inner goddess through your spirituality and help other women do the same is really what I'm getting. Take it as it resonates. I remember Soul Plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Wow. So I think what that is saying is you have had kind of two different soul missions in a way. So you might be kind of like, but I don't want to be a leader, because maybe you're an introvert. I kind of could feel that a little bit, especially with the Sage card. Is with the energy that I'm specifically feeling with this, you like spending time alone, but then this is kind of the opposite of kind of being a leader of powerful women, right? So it might feel conflicting, and that's what I think this card is saying is maybe you've had different soul paths and maybe they like alternated every couple of reincarnations because it needed to be done at that point on earth, or however that resonates. You'll have to do more research and meditation with your ancestors and maybe figure out a little bit more about your soul plan, because it definitely seems like you have one, but maybe you feel kind of stuck between, as it says, fated life and destiny life. So, you know, one of these, and I'm really feeling like it's this one. So maybe you want to do something that is not working with people directly necessarily, but your soul mission is really helping people. I'm really getting that. So, but take it as it resonates and definitely meditate with your guides, because they'll guide you on what's definitely meant to be, but your intuition will guide you further as well. Okay, and next we have Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Yeah, so, I mean, this is not necessarily Egyptian, but this is what I mean. Like, this is the card that fell out, because to me it's the same type of energy for me. And it's just because I see these two birds like wings, and I'm like, I mean, and overall it just feels Egyptian. So that I feel like confirms that definitely something in your past life was Egyptian. But in general, you just are protected. You have ancestors that are definitely looking over you, especially with having a guardian. And, you know, an emotional guardian, they're gonna help you with your emotions. So don't be afraid to show them. And maybe that's why you're afraid to be this kind of leader. I don't know, take that as it resonates, but that's just something that I got. But you had a lot of gifts that your ancestors have passed down. So, you know, overall it seems like you have a really beautiful cosmic line and an, you know, earth line, as I like to say. But I would say do more research in what calls to you. Like, if, you know, Egypt, ancient Egypt has ever called to you, it may connect you to Egypt's, you know, philosophy with spirituality, and then that might tie you more to your soul mission, because you might pick up things that you feel true to you with spirituality through, you know, what the ancient Egypts believed, and that might connect you more with these different lines, right? Like, and then you might understand your soul mission a little bit more. So that's a little bit of piece of advice that I'm hearing, or meditate in general to connect. So take it as it resonates, but you have a lot of gifts and guidance from your ancestors. So we have study. So yeah, definitely, I can definitely understand that with the Sage, that it seems like maybe you like to study and you're just kind of a quiet person, which I can understand because I'm an introvert myself, which may seem shocking, but I am definitely an introvert. And so with study, I think it could make sense that you like to read and you like quiet time. So the thought of being a leader and guiding people and using that kind of energy, like, really, I understand can feel draining. And so, but you really, just because you possess a really beautiful peace and inner calmness and the ability to be grounded, and that's kind of more what I'm feeling. So I guess I want to kind of take a tangent for just a second, because what I'm feeling now is you don't need to decide between these two like I originally thought this was saying. You may feel conflicted to do one or the other. Like, you may be like, like, I like working with people, but I also like being alone because same. But so you could just feel conflicted, because now what I'm getting is you don't have to let go of this part of yourself, but you definitely are destined though to be a leader, and you're definitely destined to help people in the spiritual community and a specific group to feel empowered. Okay, that definitely I feel like is part of your soul mission, at least for most of you. So I think what I'm getting here is you don't need to let go of this part of yourself. If anything, it's part of how you ground yourself. It's part of who you are, right? It's this card, like earth pulsing, like connecting, slowing down, time and nature. Like, again, I think it's just that peace. I think you're able to be more at peace. And so it's not something that you should shun and walk away from. You find a balance, but realize that you are a badass person and you need to, and people need your light and they need your guidance, okay? And then we have inspiration. I mean, yeah, exactly. You inspire people. You will inspire people. And if you don't know that already, well, you do now, because you will definitely inspire people, which is why, you know, it's such a strong soul mission, you know, that's being communicated here, is being a leader, right? We have fertility. So, I mean, take it as it resonates. It doesn't necessarily mean pregnancy. It can, so take that as it resonates. You could be just a naturally fertile person, but fertility in general, you could just be an overall fertile person. Let's just go with that, because it's about that you have abundance, you get what you need. And that's what I get with the Sage and the High Priestess, right? Is they're very, which I think you already mentioned this, they're very well off, right? Like they're very taken care of. And if I haven't already mentioned that, there you go. So they're taken care of, and so the universe will definitely take care of you. And so fertility, creation, inspiration is just endless to you, okay? And maybe even devotion and commitment is like easy for you because you're just an overall fertile person. Best possible decision. So yeah, I think you make the best possible decisions because you are educated. That's definitely what I get, is because you do have this connection to this more type of inner peace, and you seem like you read and like study a lot, or just a lot of quiet time absorbing information is definitely what I'm getting. You have built that part of your brain where you're able to be more practical and logical and make really good decisions. So trust your intuition that the decisions that you make are really on point, okay? Because you make the best possible decisions because your brain is very advanced. And so don't second guess yourself, okay? That's what I'm really getting. And that seems like it's been passed on as well, because you've always had this kind of ancient wisdom to you, it seems like. And so you've always made just good decisions that have been able to get you to abundance and get you to these positions of leadership. So that's what I'm getting. Magical powers. Okay, I'm gonna put that here because it connects to this card for me at this point. So just because this says harness mystic power, and this is magical powers. So I think you're definitely into spirituality. I mean, you're watching this video, but more magic too, like working with the moon, I'm hearing, but magic in general, spells, that type of stuff. If that's ever called to you, you should definitely take a look at it. Doesn't mean you have to follow every single practice, but you know, maybe some of the magic, you know, that Egyptians would do, you could maybe research that and see what speaks to you in that sense. But you definitely have magical abilities, as you know, they're saying in your line, in your ancestor line. So, which makes sense because like I said, you're definitely meant to be a leader through something spiritual. So something, you have magical powers that you may already know about. So take it as it resonates, because you may know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't, you definitely need to look into this and take what resonates, okay? And then the last one we have is sensuality, your freedom flowing from far away. So yeah, I think you just have the ability to have a lot of inner peace, and that's really what I'm getting with that. And don't lose that. Like, now that's made very clear to me, that don't lose the ability to be at peace with yourself, because it's extremely important. And that makes sense that you do have such an inner peace with the rose quartz, universal love. Oh shit, and then the first card is love. Oh my god, that is so funny. That's when shit like this blows my mind, because I'm just like, are you kidding me? So yeah, love, like you I think you have a pretty good sense of self-love, and if you don't, it will be easy for you to possess, so you should. With the water guardian, connecting to your emotions, connecting to your self-love and your self-care, the water guardian is here to like definitely aid you in that, right? So if you're not, if your self-love isn't like where you want it to be and you aren't feeling like this fucking goddess, then just call upon your water guardian, because she'll definitely help you feel the self-love that you need to feel. I mean, you chose the rose quartz, so it's definitely something that you know is within you. Change takes place. So, okay, yeah, that could be understanding that, you know, to me, maybe there's a crossroads that you're coming to, and that's why you feel maybe unsure of what direction to take. But it's, you know, that change is what aids in growth, right? Because again, you really are intelligent and you make good decisions. You understand things, so you understand that change is a way of really good things, right? It's good to see change because that means things are improving and things are getting better. And so you understand that change is good, and that's what I'm getting. But it's an affirmation to remind you, don't forget. And then the last card that I dropped, and the last card is truth. I walk my path to self-discovery by living within my truth and following my passions. That's what I'm getting. So definitely what I think you need to do is call to actions. What I'm getting from them is you need to figure out what your passion is within spirituality. And once you figure that out, really harness it, because it's gonna come through to you pretty naturally because you already have the powers. Just remember love, right? To always love yourself and love others is kind of what I'm just hearing. But you definitely just need to understand where your passion lies in spirituality and know that you're meant to be a leader in that realm. So start harnessing it and start believing and start connecting with this part of yourself, because it's definitely in there. Okay, so if you already don't know what kind of your soul mission is, this gives you a little bit of insight. But if you do know, then hopefully this gives you just a little bit more idea of really tapping into the powers that you possess. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please leave a like and a comment if this resonated, or just let me know the situation. I'm really curious about this magical powers one. If you already know, like, let me know below, like, what that means for you. Because, okay, sorry about that, my camera battery died. So I needed to just grab it. So yeah, as I was saying, basically your soul mission, you just need to understand more what it is within the leadership and see what it calls to you with the spirituality. So if you don't already know, just spend time meditating and really understanding what that is, because you just yeah, you sound like a badass. But yeah, so overall, like, I think that gives you a really good idea into your ancestors, and it seems like you got some pretty badass ancestors. So hope you enjoyed this reading. Please leave a like below and a comment if this resonated. Let me know the situation, okay? And I will see you guys in the next video, but I'm gonna go ahead and move on to group number 5. Okay, group number 5, welcome to your reading. So I'm really excited because what we have first is some oracle cards that are based all around the ancestors that have reincarnated on Earth, and so your past lives, in other words, which are really exciting because I think you had quite a few, so that's exciting. And then these cards are all about your galactic ancestors, so we'll be able to kind of get an insight into them. And then we have a few other cards, so let's just jump straight into it and start with your kind of past life reincarnations that have happened on Earth, because that's always exciting. First one we have is the protection guardian, drop your shields. Wow, okay, and so this is the second one holy crap. Okay, hold on, I wanna pull all 3 of these at the same time because I saw all 3 and they all like coincide. So you definitely were some kind of warrior in a past life, absolutely, which, you know, is kind of like, oh, but it's really the truth, like, because you have like the broken arrow, but it's more of just, you were all about being a warrior of peace, though. Like, you always in a past life, and to me this kind of almost fall into the same kind of incarnation. So this is kind of like its own little section of one scenario, because it sounds like you know, you understood protection, or maybe you had a protection guardian with you who is helping you as you were a warrior understand that you want to have peace and know when to drop your shield, right? And when to be honorable and humble and all of that stuff. And so I just think that's beautiful, because that's what I'm really getting. And I definitely feel some earth energy. So don't know a specific time necessarily, anything like that, not feeling anything. So take it as it resonates. You might already know. If you don't, definitely do some, you know, research into connecting with these guides. But let's see what else we got. We got shaman. Wow. Yeah, trust in higher forces. Yeah, spiritual. You got a lot of spiritual ancestors. So now I'm excited to see more of your galactic ancestors, because of the protection guardian and the shaman. Like, it's very clear you are a shaman in a past life, which is amazing. And to me, this feels very, you know, and to me, this just feels like very native. And so definitely could be a past life with that. We have spring, see your seeds grow. Wow. So to me, this kind of goes hand in hand too, that I think just connected to nature, maybe, you know, a lot of good things happen for you in spring. I kind of feel that. So a lot of things sprout for you in spring. You might manifest stuff naturally during winter time. And then in spring, things usually happen and feel like they're blossoming for you. And you're always like, what? And that's why, you know, so that's what I'm getting. And then mirror guardian, take time to reflect. Wow, 2 guardians. That's pretty amazing. Don't want to cover her up though. So mirror guardian, to me, this kind of is more so the guardians that actually, to me, hold on. I thought that these were the same guardian because they look really similar. Like, they have the same color of hair and the same like length of hair and the same dress with the same patterns. But I mean, they could be the same, but I can't see her eye color, so I'm not sure. But to me, if they're not the same, then they're from the same, like, maybe family or whatever the case is in that sense, like, because they have the same wings. But in general, that's pretty amazing, because it looks like there's some powerful guardians. And if this like image or these colors call to you, I would maybe try to research this and see what this means. So this deck is called Angels and Ancestors. And let me actually pull up, let me tell you a little bit, like, let me pull up the description and see if it says anything. Oh shit. Okay, I'm glad I read it. So this protection guardian is the feminine version of Archangel Michael. Like, and if you like, I'm sure you know who Archangel Michael is. Like, he's like the head, right, of like the angels. Like, and so having someone that powerful, definitely overlooking your ancestors, is pretty insane. Let me look at this one, because I want to see if they're the same person. Okay, it doesn't say anything about it being that they're the same person, but in general, they're angels. And so it seems like you have a lot of angels that guide you, especially having 2 of them. And they're obviously both like from the same, I just say like family, but I think you know what I mean. Like, same, just community, basically. I think maybe that's a better word. I don't even know the word, honestly. But that's just what I'm getting. And so I just think you have a lot of angels that have guided your ancestors, and that also guide you. So let's look at your cosmic line, because now I'm really curious. Star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. Holy shit. Okay, so to me, Egypt already is coming up. So let me see this card. So this figure right here, it might be a little hard to see on camera. This is Thoth. So he is Thoth. He's basically the Egyptian version of Hermes. And so he's just kind of the wisdom keeper, which makes sense with the shaman. The wisdom keeper, so something just spoke out to me about seeing him in this card. So I think you should definitely do some research into Egypt if that has ever called to you. If not, you should anyways, because I think there's some things that you're going to learn about maybe Egyptian spirituality or Egyptian culture in general that are going to really speak to you, okay? Maybe research more about Thoth, and like he has like a book of Thoth. I don't know that much about it. I've kind of just seen it before, so I started doing some research. He is like a guardian, like you can call upon him, so maybe that will help you. Take what resonates. Let's see what else we got. Loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, destiny, addiction, let God in. Okay, so this tells me this is some of the karmic cycles that your ancestors have had to deal with, specifically your galactic ancestors have had to deal with a lot of karma. And so karma is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not that they did bad things and so they were doomed. Karma just is about that the universe is trying to propel you forward and trying to help you learn. But if you can't seem to learn the lesson, they repeat it until you do. And that's basically what a karmatic cycle can be. And so it just kind of seems like your ancestors have struggled with some of these different cycles. So, you know, some coping mechanisms that could come from trauma early in childhood, you know, a destiny struggle, you know, addiction, whatever the case is. You may not struggle with any of those, and you may struggle with your own thing. It's just about a karmatic cycle of struggling with something because of kind of a hard situation that's happened in your life. That's what I'm definitely getting. And so your ancestors want you to know the way to heal that is to really let your spirituality in. So because you have strong spiritual energy, if you can't tell, right? Like with like this card, this is very strong spiritual energy. And with the two like guardian and their angels, like that's spiritual energy, like the shaman, like it's kind of nuts. So I would definitely start really digging into your spirituality even more. Obviously you're into spirituality because you're here, but this is the time to really start digging into it further, and this is where you could start, okay? And then we have the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Wow, okay. So these to me are two different reincarnations, and you were brought there at these very specific times, which I don't know these times. You can probably have an idea, or maybe you'll know it resonates, but it seems that every time that you're reincarnated here, you're definitely meant to help raise the vibrations. And through the warrior, you know, you may be like, well, what do you mean? But it's like, remember that you fought for peace. So you're raising the vibration of the planet by understanding that peace and love and harmony is the way to raise our consciousness. It's the way to be. It's the most powerful thing in the world, right? And so that, I think, is what this is definitely saying, is you're meant to always help raise the vibration of the planet, okay? And that doesn't necessarily have to be through a specific avenue. I think it's pretty clear that it could be through a lot of different avenues, and you're guided no matter what you choose. So nothing specific about that. We have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Yeah, which is this basically, right? Like, so maybe you do have a vision of a goal or something that you want to change on Earth. So, because it seems like you really love Earth, especially being a shaman, really connecting to the Earth. So maybe something to do with, you know, saving the planet, helping with the ecosystem, animals, I'm feeling as well. Something about that, you know, is part of a vision that you have of just making the earth better and making the world better. And so whatever that is for you, keep going. If you don't know what that is, you know, it's happening. So don't think too much about it. It will happen and you'll know. So that's what I'm getting with that. And then we have, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I think this means connecting with your spiritual community, right? Maybe your soul tribe. Start understanding more about other people's perspectives into spirituality and start learning more, start gaining wisdom, look a little deeper. That's what this card is saying. I mean, you definitely need to look into Egyptian, but in general, like, get different perspectives and learn and grow, really, is what I'm getting. That was a lot. Wow. And I mean, you did have a lot of cards, but that's pretty amazing. Like, you have some amazing guidance. Those two guardians, like those angels, like, are amazing because they literally are two very powerful angels coming to protect you. And so maybe with this one, I got a little excited about it, but I think take time to reflect. I think that's definitely what that's saying, is the angels will be here to support you, but make sure that you're reflecting. Okay. I just got that. So now these are the gifts that your ancestors have passed on to you. Okay, so we have safe home. I cast a circle round about. Safety now is beyond doubt. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely protected. So they just want you to reassure you of that the guardians, the angels are here to protect you. I mean, don't forget, you really do have like Archangel Michael. And you could call upon Archangel Michael and this would still give you the same type of energy, but you literally have a very, very powerful angel guardian looking over you. So you should call upon them and know that you're completely safe. Are you kidding me? And then we have success. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you're meant to be successful and they'll help you. So ask for their help, ask for their guidance. We have destiny. All that I shall need to know, all as I walk shall be known and shown, I guess. Yeah, and like I said, like, if you don't know what your destiny is, you know, don't struggle too much trying to figure it out, because it's like with this one, like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen one way or another. So don't worry too much about it because it will come to you. That's kind of cool, actually, that tied into that. And then authenticity. So yeah, I think be true to yourself, be honorable is definitely what I'm getting, right? Be true to yourself because it's gonna always help you in your life, and it's gonna be the most important thing in your soul journey is to be authentic always, because people are always going to be against that, especially when trying to rise to a new sense of consciousness, which you're going to be helping with. People are always going to be afraid of the unknown, right? And are going to fight back and against it for a long time because they're scared. And so that's the thing, is being authentic and being able to be truthful and understanding, I think, will definitely help you help these people understand, right? I just got that, especially with this. This is a really beautiful card. Okay, and then the last cards that I have are some affirmations from your ancestors, which, wow. We have now. I put the power of now into action every day. Yeah. You definitely seem like you're an ambitious person who makes decisions. So don't be afraid to make those decisions because you're in alignment with everything that you need to do, right? And you also just need to, okay, hold on. I actually want to take a step back because I just kind of got something. As I was looking at this card, with this mirror guardian, what I'm getting with these two real quick, sorry, taking this little detour. You need to kind of look at the own cycles in your life and really, really evaluate them. Look at them head on so that you can understand why the cycle is continuing. And as you connect to your spirituality, start letting it go. Okay, because I wanted to come back to that because I don't think I came to it. So, because now is the time to let go is kind of what I was feeling when I saw this. So now's the time to kind of move forward with that is what I'm getting. But now in general might be a confirmation for you, whatever resonates. And then we have powerful. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely powerful, no doubt. Like, and you have so much power inside you, right? With the shaman, with the guardians. Are you kidding me? So much power. But you're a good person. And that's why, you know, they want to remind you to be authentic because you are powerful and successful and you'll be able to help people, okay? So, yeah, definitely not surprising. Forgive. Okay, so remember when we talked about this card, maybe there's some habits or mindsets in your life that come from trauma, or your past situations or your childhood, whatever the case is, we all have them. It's just your shadow self, okay? So, but I think maybe the confirmation, the affirmation that your ancestors want you to know is just to forgive, because it will help you let go and move on and get rid of this cycle so that you can have everything that you desire, because your ancestors don't want you to have to deal with those things, okay? So that's what I'm getting with that. Okay. And then we have faith. And yeah, see, this to me is having faith in the universe that they're going to be able to help you. And that's coming out in a few places. So definitely have faith in them, because they're going to help you. And everything is in divine timing. I can't believe that. What the heck? Like, yeah, everything really is in divine timing for you. So don't overthink things. I think that's like what I'm getting, because it can be really hard when you're starting to dive into spirituality to be like, well, what do I do now? Well, what do I do now? Well, what's the right path now? And just feeling like so lost, right? And so that's the thing, is just trust that everything happens exactly as it needs to be. So if you feel called to research and seek things out, by all means do so, but don't feel like, well, is this the right path for me though? Should I be doing something different? Like, don't think about that part too much, okay? That's all that your ancestors want you to realize. So overall, a call to actions, I would say, is just to definitely dive more into, Egyptian spirituality is what I'm really getting, and see what resonates, because that will really help you understand your own higher self and what feels true to you. And then, I think maybe just work on these karmatic cycles that are occurring, because you don't deserve to deal with that bullshit anymore. And know that you're protected, so don't worry, especially with this stone. What's so beautiful about this is I know a lot of people would be naturally turned off from it, which I can understand. But the thing is it absorbs negative energy. It helps with that. And so with you calling that, it definitely makes sense that you're dealing with some karmatic energy. But know that you're protected, because this will protect the shit out of you, right? Like, and overall, more so, your angels are way powerful. So, don't worry too much about not being protected. You definitely are. That's what I just wanted to say with that. So I really hope this resonated with you guys. Please leave a like and a comment and let me know the details on all of this, like what I really want to know, if some of these resonate with you with your past lives, and if you have an idea about some of these, because I'm really curious, like with this one, what calls to you, and in general, kind of what your overall thoughts are. But overall, it's pretty beautiful, and you seem like a badass person. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and a comment, and I will see you guys next time.